We've crossed the 3-week out mark threshold for Modern Warfare's launch, and there's still a lot that we don't know about the game, but the leaks are slowly but surely coming out and giving us a little bit more information. We're not quite to the point where we would be when game copies start to break street date and go out early for people to post campaign spoilers or anything like that, but we are approaching that, and until then, we have leaks to tide us over in terms of things like MP with a new ranking system, new camo information, the status of the minimap, the map totals, DLC plans, and much more. So today, I wanted to take some time and fill you all in on all this information that you may be curious about. Today's info comes directly from the gaming revolution, who's ended up being correct on a vast majority of things that have come to fruition so far, and for the few that have not come to pass, they've been a byproduct of developmental changes and things that happened after the information was given out. So I'd give a little bit more weight to this information than somebody who made a Reddit account and posted this stuff, say, a day ago with less of a followable trail of correct information. But as always with leaks, do take it with a grain of salt, and let me know your thoughts and takes on it all down in the comments below. Additionally, if you're interested in staying up to date with all things Modern Warfare as we ride into the launch here, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date. The content will still be here all the same, but for the almost 67% of viewers who aren't subscribed, if you want to stay up to date with the daily content regarding the game, now going into Modern Warfare is as better a time than any. So the option's there, but anyways, let's jump into the content. Let's start out with some general MP discussions here. According to his sources, one of the big things a lot of players had some questions about, and of course was a hotly debated topic during the beta, was that of the minimap. Apparently, right now, it is planned to be in there as it is fully at the release of Modern Warfare. So I'm okay with this, I think. Personally, I think design-wise, the game did look really clean without the minimap, but that information that it gave in relation to map flow is absolutely crucial, I think, in how the game plays out. So that's something we should be seeing the full thing come on day one with the game and be normal like how it was in the past. Now, there's really not much more to say about that part, so moving along to a little bit more of some general MP discussion, let's talk about the ranking system, something that does have a little bit more to discuss to it. Now, we heard this rumor not too long ago that they were kind of debating whether or not they were going to keep the traditional system in place where you had levels 1 through 55, then a prestige system, and then do it all over again for X amount of prestiges. Likely 10, maybe 20 if we're really pushing it with a level 1000 outside of that. But there was also the debate that they were going to be doing something brand new with this, and that actually might be looking like what is the actual case here, that they did make that jump from just the traditional prestige system to something that is brand new. Apparently, this is changed for launch at the moment. The only information that came along with this is think seasonal, more information soon. So that's definitely a drastic curveball of what we know if that's the case, and I think this is going to be something that is, again, a heavily debated topic, something many people may be very cool with, some that many may absolutely hate. I feel like this does have potential to be very polarizing, but at the end of the day, it's a different design approach, and I think it would be something that was taken with the idea of longevity in mind, to bring players back more consistently over time rather than, okay, I hit Master Prestige, I'm done. It's only January, but I'm good. I've completed everything I wanted. I don't personally think that it'll be too terrible, just different. I'd imagine it follows something similar to Fortnite's system, where outside of the Battle Pass, you do have that season rank, and perhaps with maxing out each season, you end up getting a certain item of value. Prestige, if you will. Now, of course, that does have the potential to throw a monkey wrench in the entire ranking system for how you unlock things in game, but the more that I think about it, it really wouldn't be anything really that different outside of what we may see, where every season could be a month long and there's 55 levels, and in that sense, it doesn't change anything for what we already saw within the beta and ranking it up. We saw how fast you rank up during that beta. 1 through 20, 1 through 30 is obviously the lower levels, so it doesn't take as much time, but I felt like I breezed through all of that within a day or so, and that's something that would be incredibly easy. So with each season coming and rolling over, you could end up having to, again, have that prestige where you re-unlock everything. And sure, it would create this untimely thing where if you didn't want to re-unlock things, you'd have to again. But at the same time, that's how that season and prestige could work, if you call it that. That's my guess. I have no idea if that's right, but a seasonal ranking is definitely something I'm curious to hear more about, and seemingly we should have that soon. Let's talk about camos a little bit outside of just some general things here with this. Right now, it seems like, though it wasn't planned initially, there is going to, for launch, be gold, diamond, and an unknown equivalent to dark matter, which is obviously, I think, something great. It gives players to grind out. There's a hefty total of weapons, so it'll keep players interested. It'll keep players really going hard towards one common goal for customization, and I'm all for that. I'm definitely somebody that says every single year, I'm gonna go do that. Never have done it, but maybe this is the year. I'm excited to see where it may lead. Apparently camos can also be found in supply drops, but also will be there for challenges as well for unlocks. And following that path a little bit for challenges for camos, apparently they're all linked together across all modes, taking that cross progression, something that's been mentioned for a long while now, to a new level to serve a little bit more functionality on a micro level instead of just across the board between platforms of PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. It seems like you'll be able to rank up your camos and unlocks for all camos with no specific camos per mode like campaign, spec ops, and survival, or MP like how we saw with MP, zombies, and blackout this year. Instead, you can work towards all one common goal, and that might mean that one mode may emerge as a better way to do things in grinding out camo challenges. So we'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be specific camos, but instead you can work for all those modes towards one common goal. A fun little tidbit regarding camos that doesn't really have to do with the traditional camos you may know of. Apparently kill streaks and ground war vehicles are being talked about for having camos. There's already different camo variations depending on the map that you may play them on apparently, but camos like how we saw in Infinite Warfare with the streaks variants may be something that ends up coming to the game at some point. Transitioning between topics as a sort of bridge here, a little small note on the weapons. We talked about a list of 49 weapons possibly coming to Modern Warfare with launch the other day. Turns out about only 40 of those will be coming, which hell, 40 is still insane. It might not take the crown for the most amount of weapons, like how we still see Modern Warfare 3 holding that title at launch, but it's still a damn good amount, and I'm all for that. Now, talking maps a little bit, this is where we have a little bit more clarification as well. Apparently at launch, there's going to be 3 ground war maps, 7 gunfight maps, and 10 normal maps. And apparently the 10 normal maps include a Nia Palace, which makes me wonder a couple of things. Well, firstly, 1, is 20v20 considered normal? And if so, 2, how much more will be sectioned off for this? We know things like 10v10 maps of Raid can play 6v6, but 20v20 maps are a little bit too large in my opinion for a game of, say, Cyber Attack or something similar. So my question is, how much of those 10 have we not seen that are strictly 6v6 in standard modes? I'm admittedly surprised we have 7 gunfight maps also, but I just hope it doesn't turn out to be something of a case where we have so many sectioned variations of maps that are fit for specific player counts and totals, where we have another situation like World War II where it seemed like we had a lower amount because war maps were sectioned off just for war. Hope that's not the case, but we'll have to wait and see, but those are the numbers apparently coming with launch. In terms of remastered maps, apparently none are coming for launch, but there's going to be post-launch remasters at some point during the DLC season. I think that's kind of a no-brainer, but to hear that none of them at launch are remasters, I'm actually kind of excited about this. While you can't sure jump into a map you're familiar with immediately, it's all brand new content at that point. So I'm all for that, I'm cool with that. And the final thing in terms of maps is apparently ground war maps likely won't have the ability to be played in custom matches due to current issues that are arising. And I'd imagine this is a memory or stability thing, which I get and I don't get. I'm sure that they're a huge undertaking, but things like Blackout also make me question it because they had private matches, though albeit without bots. So I don't know, it's not my real area of expertise, but I wouldn't expect those to be coming. And that said, Modern Warfare can be played offline though in campaign, local co-op, and local MP, but again without those larger maps of ground war. Talking Spec Ops for a short bit of time, apparently survival on PlayStation 4, unfortunately again for an entire year, will launch with 3 maps including almost all the kill streaks playable from MP to be based on the point system. Additionally, in terms of Spec Ops missions for all, there is post-launch content confirmed for that one. We'll likely get a lot more information in the next couple of days on Spec Ops as we end up seeing the full reveal happening on the 8th. But talking a little bit over transitioning again into the MTX system within Modern Warfare, apparently, and I think this is something we can all assume, is that it's going to be decent at first, but then will get bad later. Stickers, charms, and variants will be in supply drops up front with launch, and there will be common and rare supply drops, with rare supply drops naturally having a little bit higher of odds compared to the common drops. There's also no info yet on the yield for each drop, whether or not it's 3 items for your time or just 1 like we had in Black Ops 4. I'm hoping for the first of those 2. 3 items was definitely way better than 1. And then finally, to round out the video, I wanted to talk about some miscellaneous things, some things that I didn't really think fit any specific category, but are definitely interesting to note. Firstly, dead silence apparently won't be a perk. It just probably won't happen. It was a design intent that they weren't fond of, and it's a certainly interesting way to take things, being that it's been something that's been a staple in Call of Duty for so long. Also, apparently, Akimbo is coming as a weapon perk for pistols. It was rumored beforehand that it would be coming for some SMGs as well, but apparently that's now cut down to only pistols. The intervention is not planned for Modern Warfare at launch or the first 2 DLCs, but may make its way over in the post-launch content. After that, it's still in the works. There will be a competitive playlist for Modern Warfare, but not at launch, similar to how we saw possibly with Black Ops 4, though I'd imagine it would come a little bit earlier. Leaderboards are close to being done and are planned for release, but if they don't make that cut, they'll be in the next major update for the game, usually following about a week after launch. There will be no custom emblems, and Clan Wars are returning, but this time it's called Regiments and will be a post-launch feature with more info coming later towards the actual launch date of Modern Warfare. So that is a ton of stuff that we covered here at this. And a lot of this gets me really hyped. A lot of this can, of course, be called curveballs and some major ones at that. Biggest one I'm looking at is the ranking system, but I'm excited to see more. I'm excited to get my hands on it. And of course, as we round in closer to the launch date, we're slowly but surely approaching. So that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is there anything in particular that stood out to you? Anything that you're like, this is great, or maybe this is kind of bad? But anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare. We'll keep you guys up to date with absolutely anything you need to know. So if you're interested, hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But let's send out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Minus an espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.